Hi, I'm Angel. Thanks for stopping by. I'm up in the southern Rockies again, outside Golden, Colorado, and just enjoying the early autumn foliage. Came for a nice little walk with my dog friend. She's over there running around. And I thought I'd just show off some of this foliage. It's a lot of the same stuff I've showed off in other videos because it's the stuff I'm familiar with, and that's a good time to remind you if you're wild crafting or even just touching wild plants that you're not familiar with. Well, it's a good idea not to touch too many plants that you're not familiar with unless you're into that sort of thing. I tend to taste things and really get to know things, but also good idea to use like a triangulation approach to identifying things. So at least three sources to learn a plant. Usually a lot more, but that's a good start. And with that, I will show you a plant that I am very familiar with. This is bee balm, aka bergamot. It's end of season here, so you can see it gets a nice little red tinge. It has a distinct smell to it, which I really like. It makes a nice tea. Bees like it when it's in bloom. Here's the spent seed pods after the bloom is already done. And down here we also have some wild roses. I just passed some over there, but let's see if we find some more. Well, there's a whole, see all that? That's all bergamot, aka bee balm. Not all, there are other things in there too, but that's a big stand of it. I'm going to come back here where I saw these wild roses. Again, you can recognize them by their prolific fine thorns, and they have this leaf shape earlier in the year. Sometimes they have little wild rose flowers and rose hips, which are high in vitamin C, although a lot of times in the mountains like here, you're not going to find berries because other critters will come along and eat them. I see a lot of wild geraniums back there, and I think these are wild currants, but again, you're not going to find many berries on them because they are popular with the birds and have already been eaten. I believe a lot of this is wild currant, though, in a small scrubby form. I could be wrong. You can tell me if you think that's something else. Again, identifying plants in the wild is a lifelong endeavor for me. And if you're wild crafting, aka like harvesting them for food or medicine, be sure that you know what they are, and also be respectful of the environment you're taking them from. I try to never take more than a third of a stand, and that's if there are lots and lots. If there's not very many, then I leave it alone. That's my dog friend running around over here. Over there, here's some yarrow, end of season. You can see the flowers are already spent and the leaves are already turning brown. A little higher up there are some that are not quite as spent, but coming down the mountain now. Here's a little Oregon grape root. The root is high in berberine. I show this off a lot. This is a nice, just a tiny, like solo. A lot of times it'll grow in a whole stand. So this is a good example of something that I would not take any of because there's only the one starting to grow here. However, if I were harvesting like these currants, well, I would only do that if there were berries on them. But say it was an herb that I wanted to dig the root of, like you might with Oregon grape, I would be respectful and only take not just a third of it across, in one chunk, but, and I probably wouldn't take actually more than a fifth of any given stand, and I would take it in little spots, not all in one area, so as not to devastate the environment, right? I'm hoping to see some uva ursi, aka bear. I can't think of the name of it at the moment. It's used as a smoking herb, and I've seen quite a bit of it around here, but I'm not seeing any at the moment. Here's a bigger stand of Oregon grapefruit, and here's an example of an area where maybe I would wildcraft some of this. You can recognize it by its prickliness, and earlier in the season it might have some blueberries, but again, even though they're bitter to us, other animals probably consume them. for humans, we tend to like Oregon grapefruit for the roots, as the name kind of indicates, and that's because it's high in berberine, which is a bitter yellow chemical substance which has really good antibiotic, antiviral properties. Golden seal is most best known for that chemical constituent, but Oregon grapefruit is a lot quicker growing and less endangered. So I always encourage people to look into Oregon grapefruit instead of golden seal if they're needing a natural antibiotic or antiviral medication. I'm almost down from the mountain now, so I may have to wrap this up. Mostly I just wanted to share this beautiful day with you, share this beautiful environment, share some of my thoughts about wildcrafting. Here comes my dog friend Valeria behind me. I can hear her. I saw some signs of bear earlier, but between my loud talking and the dog running, it's not much of a danger of running into any of the many wild animals that are up here, including bears. There's a lot of elk up here, and at different times of year, quite a few wild turkeys, and a few deers and foxes. Lots of birds, of course. Do you have a favorite herb to look for in wildcraft? If so, let me know in the comments. I love to know what other people are into. Sometimes maybe I can go hunting for it, or maybe you can tell me where you like to wildcraft. Ooh, here's some goldenrod, I believe. This is also a popular antiviral medicine, I believe. Might be antibiotic. There is an important distinction there. I see a little more of that as I come down the mountain. I love getting to know an area for its flora and fauna, and it takes some time. It doesn't happen, all at once. Here's a last little traces of some thistle, which is prevalent up here. Here's some more of this goldenrod. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I'll have to check my books to verify. It's coming up from, you can see this like a rosette and then single stalks. Those are ways of identifying plants. You can see also that the leaves are coming off in a spiral, not in pairs, but individually and spiraling around the stalk. All those are clues to help identify an herb. I see some wild geraniums over here under this ponderosa pine. See that? I just recognize it by the leaves. There are no flowers on it right now. At least I think that's what that is. Again, you can let me know if you disagree or you know otherwise. Lots of great variety of trees and other flora up here. I'm going to do some bird watching later today. As always, you can find other ways of supporting me and connecting with me in the description. And I welcome your questions and comments in the comment section. And until next time, I wish you love, lightheartedness, peaceful conflict resolution, productive communication. Don't forget to play every day. Drive forward. Peace.